Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 5 starts now.
Good evening. We start with this breaking news tonight. An inferno raging in Southern California. Several structures have been lost after multiple fires now have sparked up from Castaic all the way now down into the Sepulveda Basin.
There is one fire burning in Southern California being called the Tick Fire. Northbound I-5 has been closed because of it. Now, according to Los Angeles County Fire, the inferno was burning downhill in brush with 30-mile-per-hour winds. It all started around 2 p.m. Multiple crews are continuing to work to contain the flames. And at last check, the LA County Fire Department says the fire is 3,700 acres. Another fire burning right now is the Tick Branch 10 fire in Castaic. It was initially called the Old Fire, but has since been changed.
And we've seen houses there on fire. As we take a look at these pictures right now, we want to get you to those live pictures because, as we mentioned now, there are 4 separate fires burning. The first one in Castaic, the second one in Valle Verde, that's right west of Santa Clarita. Then there's the Tick Fire that's burning just east of Santa Clarita near Highway 14. And now there is a separate brush fire burning in the Sepulveda Basin. That's off the 405 as you drop into the San Fernando Valley there. It is a big mess in Southern California. As we've seen these live pictures, several structures have been already burned in Castaic. Several homes, though, saved in that area, as well as the Tick Fire is raging on. These live pictures have been going on for some time now, better part of an hour and a half, 2 hours now that these fires have been burning, several popping up. At last check, 3,700 acres at the Tick Fire. As we do have a crew, our Josh Sanders is on the way to the scene right now. As Jessica mentioned, traffic on Interstate 5 is affected on the northbound side. Southbound 5 had been shut down at Templin Highway. That's right before you hit the drop there, heading south into the Castaic area. That has since reopened. But as you can imagine, it is a mess right now in Southern California as these fires continue to rage on. We'll get right over to meteorologist Allison Gargaro tracking the very latest in traffic. And Allison, we've seen these winds here in Kern County, and they are absolutely whipping down south.
Yeah, we are seeing very strong winds. Already some wind gusts here in Kern County reaching 43 miles per hour, but gusts in Southern California could be reaching up to 60. So where the Tick Fire is burning just north of Highway 14, we are seeing 21 mile per hour winds, but along the I-5 nearing 31 miles per hour, 27 near Valencia. They are also seeing bone dry conditions, and that's exactly what we are seeing here in Kern County. So yesterday, relative humidity percentages were in the 20s, even 30s, but right now below that 10% mark, just 7% in Tehachapi. That mixed with these winds that are coming out of the east are bringing that critical fire danger, and we are seeing very dry conditions across the region. But like I said earlier, 43 mile per hour winds in Cummings Valley, down at the Grapevine 42, and that was just in the past 12 hours. So we could be seeing those winds again picking up overnight, continuing into your Friday. So I have more details on what these warm temperatures mean for these fire conditions coming up next.
All right, Allison, thanks. We want to turn now to our other top story tonight as we continue to follow the problem of violence happening in a vacant home in one South Bakersfield neighborhood. 23
ABC's Emma Lockhart joining us now from with the story from the area there. She has more on how the county regulates homes that pose a threat to the community. Emma?
Tim, Jess, we dug through our archives and learned that a double murder happened at a home on Lomita Drive back in 2018, the same home where a 36-year-old man was killed on Monday. Neighbors now complaining nothing is being done to keep vacant homes safe. The Lomita Drive home boarded up and tagged by county code compliance in 2018 following that double murder, but neighbors say that hasn't stopped people from squatting there and from more violence erupting.
This home on Lomita Drive in southeast Bakersfield, the scene of not one killing, but 3. Boarded up and tagged by county code compliance in 2018, but that hasn't stopped the violent activity. On Monday, officials say 26-year-old David Valles, a homeless man, stabbed and killed a man at the home. This following a double murder in 2018, where officials say a man and a woman who lived there were shot in the head and burned. The county filled with tagged homes just like this one, but officials say it's difficult to monitor them.
Just simply don't have enough manpower to be able to track every single home that we've been involved with, over the years.
That's why the county leans on the community to report issues.
If anybody appears to go to the property or is using or utilizing the property, to report it to the sheriff's department.
Code Compliance says because they don't have arrest powers, the Kern County Sheriff's Office responds to reports of squatters. Officials say once KCSO responds, then they report it to Code Compliance.
We do have properties where the violations are recurring, meaning that every so often people will break into them and we'll have to send somebody out and resecure a property.
However, officials say the home on Lomita Drive hasn't had a complaint since October 2018. Just recently, the property owner paid fees and is actively trying to rehabilitate the property. But neighbors say homeless people still use the residence and issues at the home are ongoing. KCSO says they regularly check abandoned residences, but it's not their primary responsibility.
Now, we asked KCSO for a list of how many times deputies have responded to the home, but are still waiting on that information. Now, if you have a similar problem in your neighborhood, Code Compliance says you need to file a complaint at this number, that number right there on your screen. If it's an immediate situation, call the Sheriff's Office. You can file a complaint with Code Compliance at 862-8603 or call the Sheriff's Office at 861-3110. Reporting in studio, Emma Lockhart, 23 ABC.
Now to the latest on the arrest of murder suspect Jeremy King. Court documents obtained by 23 ABC detailing new information about that arrest. According to documents, detectives were conducting undercover surveillance on September 11th when they observed his girlfriend arrive in a car. A records check of that car revealed that it is leased to her. The district attorney had previously contacted King, who was using her phone. Documents state that on October 15th, Bakersfield police received an anonymous tip advising that King would be meeting her. Investigators believe she was helping to hide King, who was indicted by a grand jury last month in the 2017 killing of Kason Guyton. King and Jonathan Knight, who are now being charged with murder, set to go to trial April 27th.
The Delano Police Department is looking for clues following a deadly shooting Wednesday night. Police officers say they responded to the 700 block of Vassar Street regarding a shooting at about 11 p.m. Officers arrived and found 45-year-old David Michael Reese at his home suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Reese was taken to Delano Regional, where he later died. Delano Police tells 23 ABC it will launch a gun violence response operation. 23 ABC spoke with Police Chief Robert Navarez, and he says that these acts of violence need to stop.
I want to send a clear message to those involved in violence. This will not be tolerated in the city, and we will use whatever resources we have to impact it.
If you have any information on this killing, you are urged to call Delano PD at 721-3377. And we're going to have more on this story on 23 ABC News at 6, as well as more details on that gun violence response operation.
California's largest utility has started yet another round of intentional power cuts this week to prevent its equipment from sparking wildfires, as we track multiples happening all around in Northern California, now fires in Southern California. The latest blackouts from PG&E come 2 weeks after it left nearly 1 million customers in the dark for days. They're affecting people in 17 counties, including Wine Country, Sonoma, and Napa, at least through today. PG&E saying about 179,000 Northern California customers will lose electricity in the latest shutoff. 33 are impacted here in Kern County. More shutoffs could come later this week. Residents not the only ones who are angry, so is the governor.
I must confess, it is infuriating beyond words to live in a state as innovative and extraordinarily entrepreneurial and capable as the state of California, to be living in an environment where we are seeing this kind of disruption and these kinds of blackouts.
The shutoff aims to prevent wildfires that could be caused by high winds downing live power equipment. In recent years, PG&E has been under fire for its role in equipment playing in a series of catastrophic blazes across the state, including last year's deadly Camp Fire. 85 people died in that blaze.
As for Southern California Edison customers, shutoffs also went into effect this morning. According to the latest from SCE's website, nearly 5,300 customers are being impacted. The shutoff includes Tehachapi, Bear Valley Springs, and Stallion Springs. But if you're not in an area that's been shut off, you are not in the clear quite yet. There are still about 4,000 customers in areas under public safety plan shutoff consideration. Those areas are Golden Hills, Keene, Fraser Park, Pine Mountain Club, Lebec, and other parts of Tehachapi, Bear Valley Springs, and Stallion Springs as well. Well, Halloween is just a week away, and soon many children will be knocking on doors asking for candy. This year, some children will have some special blue buckets, and 23 ABC's Tori Cooper has a preview on what they represent.
This Halloween, you may start to see trick-or-treaters carrying around blue pumpkins just like this one. Coming up at 6, we'll let you know what you should expect and how parents are feeling about it.
Well, it's a mission to provide families comfort during a time of tragedy. That's the goal of David's Cradle.
23 ABC's Amani Stevens sharing the story of a local woman who was found healing while helping others.
At the time, I didn't know I lost it because it's too soon in the...
It's an unexpected loss, with moments of joy quickly becoming sorrow.
Give me a minute. I didn't realize I had actually lost a child until I went to the doctor and he said, yeah, you lost a child, so then I had to deal with that. But nobody to talk to. So now we have people, we can talk to people.
Patty Brown and a group of women gather around this table, taking apart wedding gowns, prom and formal dresses, and repurposing this material into burial gowns for stillborn infants.
You feel all alone. Everybody's going home with their babies and you're not going home with a baby.
The hospital will call and say we need a gown, and they'll tell me, I'll ask them if it's a male or female and the size of the child, how much it weighed. So I know what size to bring. I'll bring a few sizes, give them choices, and there's sometimes the gowns have color in them, sometimes people want color in them, sometimes they don't want them as fancy with the pearls.
The women here say infant mortality is an issue that is not as uncommon as you may think. When Patty Brown brought the idea of this group to the pastor of the church, she had no idea that the pastor and pastor wife lost a granddaughter.
My heart ached and hurt so bad for my daughter to see how much pain she was going through. The loss of her baby that she carried for 9 full months, you know, felt it and was looking forward to it, had a, you know, got things for it, had a room all made, and now she goes home and there's no baby.
According to the California Department of Public Health Community Profile, the infant mortality rate in Kern County has risen for the 3rd consecutive year. Since David's Cradle began in 2012, the group has made close to 400 burial gowns.
I want to bring awareness that there's people out there that want people that can come to somebody and say, I need a gown, I have nothing. They're not prepared. They're not prepared for this tragic time in their life. They need something quickly.
And in return, giving Brown the opportunity to cope with her loss.
It's helped me to get through it. I'm able to talk about it, talk about the name. I named him David.
In Tehachapi, I'm Imani Stevens, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Powerful story there. Well, David's Cradle and Angel Gowns for Kern County meets on the 3rd Saturday of the month at Tehachapi First Baptist Church. Dress donations are accepted at the church, and there is a drop-off in the Bakersfield area.
To make arrangements, their contact information is on your screen and, of course, on our website. There it is right there. If you don't have time, as I mentioned, it is on our website right now, turnto23.com.